Hello and welcome everyone. This will be overview of the Seraph game classes and mechanics, so you will be a little prepared for the incoming alpha test. Since I had a very limited amount of time to play, there are possible mistakes. Feel free to correct me in comments or at Seraph Discord. So for the classes, we have 3 options to choose from. I won't get into details about any class, simply because even some aspects of Valkyrie class I have played is not completely clear for me. To not give incorrect information that can badly influence start of your alpha experience, I will limit myself to showing all skill descriptions and some general tips. Let's start with sorcerers. Just pause to read about skills. Only 20 skill points can be invested in any ability. Many of those who played sorcerers seems to prefer frost spells, while also taking level 30 fire skill, Dragon's Breath. I would say the main difference between sorcerers and other classes is that her skills deal flat elemental damage, while Barbarian and Valkyrie skills mainly do a percentage of physical attack, with occasional addition of elemental damage. This way, whatever weapon you were to use, its base damage stat wouldn't matter unless you plan bash mobs with auto attacks. You would have to look for items with affixes adding elemental damage, but we will talk about equipment a little later. Sorcerer's Frost Tree will grant most control. Flame Tree guarantee high stable damage. And Lightning has potential to reach extremely high damage or deal some below average numbers. They all have both good single target and AO skills, or at least that is my limited perception of the class so far. Honestly, I would suggest you to read up skills, and watch official trailer and go with the one class that feels the best for you. There doesn't seem to be a bad class you shouldn't pick, or a best one you must have to win some prizes in the alpha test. Last thing regarding sorcerers is to keep in mind that some skills are considered as an aura or an armor. Character can have only one skill of each type active at a time. Don't accidentally pick some nice skills only to find that they won't work at the same time. Moving on to the Barbarian. He can wield most types of weapons out of all classes, has passives for every type of weapons. Movement speed, elemental resistance, plenty of buffs. He actually has so much good staff it's frustrating since you have only so much skill points, and 6 active skill slots, out of which skill slot for left mouse button can't hold buff skills, only attacking ones. You will probably want a single target skill for bosses and elites, and AO skill for general mobs. This will leave only 4 skills to choose. When playing other classes, 1 take to damage skills, 1 movement, and maybe some utility ability. Number of active skill slot never really a problem. Barbarian on the other hand will make you wish to be able to use more abilities. If looking for the downside, he is probably the worst AO damage skills out of all classes, not that they are bad by themselves. Just Valkyrie and Sorceress have an edge over Barbarian in this aspect. Just keep in mind that I haven't tested every skill yet. His most unique aspect is that he can wield 2-handed swords in each hand at the same time, and has passive that will enhance his damage for doing exactly that, which stacks with passive 2-handed mastery. Speaking of dual wielding, while each class can dual wield single-handed weapons, but don't think that each weapon damage stat will increase your skill damage, unless skill specifically uses both hands at the same time, or in turns. Your skills will be influenced only by right-hand weapon. And our final class, Valkyrie. In my opinion, most demanding class for weapons, sorcerers just don't care, as long as their skill level bonus and additional elemental damage, while Barbarian have several ability that require specific weapon type. Mostly he can use any weapons while using his skills. Unlike them, Valkyria can only use bows and crossbows, spears, and javelins, and that's it. Speaking of spears, there are 2 types, basic one, and a Valkyrie spear, which depending on its item level, give +1 or +2 to all Valkyrie skills. So if you planning to play with spears, that's the one to go for. By level 81 I got probably less than 5 yellow Valkyrie spears, and switched to spear build at level 30 because got the very first one, while couldn't get a good bow or crossbow for my ranged build. Actually, that's true as well for other classes. While they have less demand for the type of weapon, Certain unique item drops can make you change your build because of it. They just that good. There are reasons Seraph positioned itself as an aRPG loot game. Items are extremely important. As we are finishing with class of skills, just want to remind you to pay attention to cooperation reward of each skill. It shows how much of a bonus current ability will receive depending on level of another skill. It can be worthwhile to upgrade a skill you're not even planning to use as long as it improve your main attack. I know there is no specific information on each class. Again, rather than looking for OP class, choose the one you think will be most enjoyable to play. Still haven't decided which class to play myself simply because I can't exclude any one of them from good class category. In the game currently for X are available to play with normal, nightmare and hell difficulty settings, which will be gradually unlocked. Starting with normal difficulty from abandoned village with level 1 mobs, and finishing with level 29 mobs in Hell's Sanctuary in the Act 4, you will unlock second difficulty, nightmare. Starting again from the start, you will have to finish all acts to access hell difficulty, other than having higher level mobs after crossing to nightmare mode. You will receive 40% penalty for all elemental resistances, another 60% with moving form nightmare to hell. Technically there's 7 more difficulty modes from hell 2 until hell 8, but each one increase mobs level on every map just by 1, with them being just 7 level higher on hell 8 compared to hell 1. Neither there will be additional resistance penalties, while difficulty settings shows large boosts for experience and drops. On practice, hell 8 seems to drop not more than hell 1, and giving about double the experience. That being said, hell 8 drop higher level items, and considering neglectable increase in difficulty, experience and drop rate is very reasonable. Moving on, items. They have two important aspects, item level and rarity. Remember that same items of normal quality magic or rare quality will have same damage or defense stats. Rarity influence amount of additional secondary stats on item affixes, or I should say same possible stats. You can press Alt and hover over item to see numbers it could roll for certain stat. As you can see on the magic buckler, affixes separate into prefixes and suffixes. Certain stats, for example, can only be rolled as a suffix. Normal equipment can't have any affixes. Magic can have 2. 1 prefix and 1 suffix. Rare at maximum will have 6 affixes, 3 of each type. They're also unique items. They don't have any affixes. What they do have is base stats, which can't be changed to other stat unlike affixes. Other equipment can also have 1 or more base stats. See this rare item with additional chaos stats and symbols at the bottom corners. It's chaos items or NFT. More about them a little later. Next we have to talk about modifying items. Every town has box of chaos. By salvaging gear in it you will receive flame essence. It's needed to recast items. In recast window by default affix refine is chosen. It will rewrite item affixes, while base stats won't change. You will get from 1 to 2 new affixes on magic items, and 6 or less on rare 1. This is a permanent change. You can't undo this. You can open drop menu and change from affix refine to stat refine. This won't change your affixes themselves, only reroll their values. Hold Alt to see possible results. Some gear have sockets upon identifying. It's also possible to add them on our own. You will need to take out any gems or jewels socketed in the item through take inlay window before punching a new socket. Drilling stone is necessary for adding a new socket. Can be acquired from drops, secondary quests, Abyss Mystery, or by buying on marketplace with diamonds. As you can see, results have some randomness. It can fail and reduce sockets amount, or give more than 1 per attempt. Above the item is shown a maximum amount of sockets current item can have. In those sockets you can slot gems or jewels. That will grant additional stats for your equipment. Each type of gems have 5 qualities. Lowest one isn't shown in this window. By combining 3 same gems you can synthesize a higher tier gem. Don't be overjealous collecting and holding all low tier gems. Nightmare difficulty will start dropping perfect gems regularly. Just use lower tiers on some white or blue gear with sockets to help you progress faster. Other than gems, there are also jewels. Unlike gems, they don't have fixed stats and follow same rules as other equipment. Magic jewels can have 2 stats, rare 6. You will need 3 perfect gems to recast a jewel each time. Unlike when recasting other items, it's possible to choose whatever to keep old stats. You can also view list of possible affixes for current jewel, and chances for it to roll. Jewels can be obtained from drops or Abyss Mystery. When you drop Chaos item, it can only be identified only through Box of Chaos. Level 20 Chaos items identification will require 15 Seraph's feathers. It will take a minute to finish identification. You can go on with your activities. There will be notification upon completion. Each Chaos equipment has treasure value and Chaos resistance stats. Treasure class will influence level of drop Chaos gear and the amount of soul spars you get from mobs. It's one of the currencies available in the game. Not really sure about Chaos resistance, but Abyss Mystery, one of competition target for the alpha test, have certain Chaos resistance. Recommendation for each floor. As you can see, level 20 items can have maximum of 15 treasure value, while level 30 capped at 40 value. If your item rolled below the cap numbers, it's possible to increase it in the Box of Chaos. But you will need Chaos Res Jewel, which can be acquired by salvaging Chaos items. If salvage item has 7 treasure value, resulting residual can be used to increase treasure value of other items by 7. Of course not above the cap. You now seeing treasure value and treasure class it granted me along with various bonuses. So how can you get Chaos equipment? There are low chance to get it as regular drop. For the duration of the alpha, first kill of the act boss have high chance to drop as well. The main source of Chaos items is Mystery of Chaos. After unlocking Nightmare difficulty, it will become available in the Fjord Camp. First floor don't have any requirements for entry. You can check drop chances for every floor. Higher floors will gated behind certain treasure value and you have 10 chances per day. In the pre-alpha, daily runs will reset at 4 PM UTC. There is a training mode as well. Okay, let's try it and get some Chaos gear, so you can see how it works. There are 2 types of maps from Act 1. Forest 1 and Underground, the one we got. Your goal is fill up resource bar to summon a boss and kill him before time run out. My suggestion is to focus on blue and yellow elites. They always drop resource needed and it's of higher quality than red orb drop from regular mobs. This dungeon also good source of magic and rare gear due to high concentration of elite mobs. Don't postpone entering Mystery of Chaos after it become available to you by much or at all. It isn't that hard and there not much point in clearing it with higher character levels, since item drop will become too weak for you. I will speed up the video until the boss shows up. I have more than 60 treasure value. And choose second floor of Mystery of Chaos, so there around 30% chance to get level 30 item. First floor drop level 20 items with 50% chance. Here he is, let's see if Chaos item will drop. Nope, no luck. At this point you can exit dungeon and tidy your inventory and try again. If you have more entries available, as well as required soul spars of course. And no, that is not what I mean by tidying inventory. Sell, salvage, or deposit items to storage. Another important note about Mystery of Chaos is that you can't change your equip inside the dungeon, or even swap to a secondary set of weapons you already equipped. Potions are locked as well, every time you pick an orb. Some health and mana will be recovered, but having some recovery options on your items be very nice. Okay, let's see if my luck is any better this time. Still nothing. How about third attempt? This time I got a forest map. Yeah. As you can see, drop chance is not that high, and the higher the floor, drop rate will keep reducing, increasing value of high-level items even more. Fourth attempt was a charm in my case. Let's see what we got. Sorceress weapon. It have maximum treasure value for its item level. Maybe try and see if we can improve it a little. Nice, it keep casting speed and got +1 level to all skills. Pretty decent one-handed weapon for level 30 sorcerers. As soon as hell difficulty unlocked, final dungeon will become available. Abyss Mystery, which is part of alpha test competition. Not much different from Mystery of Chaos, except you don't have potion limitation and mobs other than boss don't drop loot. Every 5 floors there are drilling stone as a reward, and every 10th a jewel. $100 floors in total. Another thing to note is that don't be too afraid to die. You will get a small penalty for a remaining time, but nothing like failing dungeon directly on death. No daily entry limits as well. There you can check your position in the leaderboard. Every entry requires a specific resource. It can be found in Pay Store. You can also buy backpack expansion, drilling stones, and some more useful items. Or some nice skins. While playing, you will acquire different types of talisman. They start giving you stat bonuses after being placed in talisman bag. Items to expand it can be purchased in the Pay Store. And finally, some tips to finish the video. Your storage have 4 tabs. Personal is exclusive to each character on the account, while other 3 are shared. Also, when using gems or drilling stones, you don't necessarily need to have them in your backpack. They will be used from storage. Each player have their own instance of every map. Until you exit the game or reset your instance or room, no mobs or bosses will respawn. In the room settings window, you can close current room, change difficulty, set password, or you can join others for a group play. You can check other players to see their build and equipment. In the camp, checking other characters' information is possible as well. Last thing to cover is Chaotic Warehouse. It is exclusive for NFT and used to export items to ActPass wallet. Oh, and do you remember I mentioned that certain drops can make you choose to change your build? I meant item like this. If I had high-level sorcerers, definitely would have tried to see what skill Flame Burst around level 40 looks like. Hope this video was of some help, and see you guys in Discord and the game.